tonight it's my honor and our privilege to have as our guest Mr. Timothy Sabb.
Yes.
And he is our next generation in the family, and a young Black man. He is a recording artist. He's a hardworking husband, father of two.
A hardworking.
And we every day we pray for Timothy and all of our young Black men, because it's so challenging out here today in which we are living. Yeah. And one of the things we're going to talk about is how to safeguard our next generation, how to encourage them and pray for them that they'll leave safely and return the same way they did when they left. And they are challenged on every front through profiling, racial profiling, and all different types of ways. But God is with them, and we have confidence that He is going to see them through. So tonight, we're going to ask Timothy some of his experiences. He doesn't have to divulge anything that he doesn't want to, but we're going to ask him what are some of the things he does to safeguard his safe return home every single day. All right, Timothy.
First of all, we want to know what made you come on our show today. Why are you here?
I was just going to say, hey, everybody. It's good to be chilling with the girls. And, which happened to be my aunties, my mom, and my grandmother. But what brought me on today, we was having a conversation over at my grandmother's house about some things that was going down, me feeling like I was being racially profiled and all that from the cops. And it was just a conversation we was having. I guess the takeaway, that grandma was able to get from it sparked, sparked a reason for me to be on here. So that's how it all came about.
Mom, can I ask you something before Tim goes any further, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you read the title? I just want to know what the title of this show is.
Well, the title I gave it was Safeguarding the Next Generation.
Okay.
That was what I gave it. Why did you ask that question, Melanie?
Because I was just wondering, because that's not the title that's on our background.
What's the title now? What's the title that you see?
I want Mommy to tell me what the title, because I got my sunglasses on.
Well, actually, my profiling is blocking the name of it. I just see it looks like a doe at the end.
Well, read mine. Read Tawanda's.
Well, let me see. Oh boy, it says when the popo. That's what I see. Because see, I do have a little vision thing.
Okay, a vision thing.
Okay.
It says encounters. Oh, I know what you're saying. Encounters with the. See, I didn't make that title up. That's Melanie made up. Melanie, what did you make up, Melanie?
Safeguarding encounters with the popo. With the popo.
Now, is that something your grandma would say?
Yes, ma'am.
Really?
Yes. Hashtag Grandma Medea. Oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Grandma Medea. Okay, so let's talk to Tim about all this stuff. Okay, Tim.
Okay, Tim.
Serious note. Okay, you can go ahead.
Okay. So as I was talking, I was telling her some experience I had about being followed. I don't know what it is, but I'm followed by the police an awful lot. And actually, I don't know why I said I don't know what it is. I think I know what it is, but it's a sad reality, And so with that, you don't want to accept the fact that, just because it may be 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, this is the reason why, I'm being followed by the police. So in that, I found some ways that helps me, either realize I'm being followed or stop being followed by the police. So, one good way to know that you're being followed is to to kind of just stay in the same lane you're driving in, and to kind of just keep on, driving straight, driving as normal, and then out of nowhere, just decide to make either like 2 quick left turns or 2 quick right turns, and then another left turn or a right turn. Now, typically, a person that's behind you that may seem like they're following you, but not, they won't make the same turns as you.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that's something that helps me know that, okay, I'm being followed. Once in that moment, I realize, okay, now they really trailing me. Now they're really following me.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the next safe thing, which is to either pull into a gas station, pull into a McDonald's drive-through line, anything that seems that I'm doing, that I mean no harm, or that, I'm not up to no good, even though I know I'm not. I could just be coming home from, a late night rehearsal or late night recording, or just coming straight home from work or anything like that. So,
and what are you, a rehearsal, Timothy? What rehearsal is this that you're coming from?
Well, I have a lot of praise and worship rehearsals.
Like church functions, right?
Yeah, like church function rehearsals, or like recording rehearsals, or things of that nature, or may have like a pre-taping about to come up and stuff like that. I'll be coming from a rehearsal.
Well, how do you feel when you are being followed?
Oh man, it's I want to say it's a rush, because it's like, oh God.
Yeah.
It's and that rush is like a scary feeling, because not to say you're afraid because it may be something in the vehicle that's not supposed to be, or I may not see this through because I may have done something wrong, but it's a scary rush feeling, because most of the times nowadays, Black men that are pulled over, they don't get past that pulled over scene. They don't make it home.
Yeah.
So that's one of the first things that come to my mind. And honestly, I either say, oh God, or help me, Jesus, I'm rooted in the church and the things of God. So that's one of the first things that come in my mind, whether I say it out my mouth or not. But so it's a feeling of what's going to happen next. It's a feeling of, am I going to get pulled over? What's going to happen when I get pulled over? It's a feeling of anxiety, should I say? Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, how do you prepare for a situation like that? What do you have to work on, like your attitudes, or how do you plan for the situation in case you do get pulled over?
One thing I already do, which is keep everything handy. When it comes to my registration, when it comes to my insurance card, and even my wallet and my license, I already have a designated place where that is in my vehicle, and it helps for me. It helps at the top, of the sun visor, to put your information there. And if you have like a cupboard or like a hole on the side where your door handle is, you can stick your wallet in there. And if you're pulled over, it's easy to get to those things. So that's one thing that I use.
And how do you know you're being followed? I know you were talking about that earlier. Like, how do you know you're being followed?
After the proper procedure, well, not the proper procedure. After the procedures I take, a small little thing, that I do, and they're still following me. That's kind of a dead giveaway at that point.
Yeah, did you say you like make 3 left turns and make a U-turn and then make a right turn and make another left turn and the cop's still behind you?
Exactly. And that's how you know that you've been followed. Or I could be on 695, 95 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And it don't even have to be right turns or left turns. It could be just swiftly changing lanes using your signal,
Right.
If they're doing those same things, then they're following you. And typically when they're following you, they're just running your tags. They want to see whether they have any warrants on you. They want to see whether the vehicle that they're following is clean, whether it's insured. They just want to find something on you. So and they'll follow you until they realize you're clean. and they'll keep on moving, but at the worst case scenario, they'll pull you over for nothing.
Timothy, and I also heard if it's real dark, keep driving until you get to a lighted area, and that could seem kind of dangerous too.
Yeah.
And now I never really had to like keep on driving when the siren and the lights were on. Thank God, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's always in a place where it's already safe or where it's well lit. So I've never been in an actual position where the lights came on and I had to drive from a dark, excluded area to somewhere that seemed safe. So I can't really speak on that per se. So
yeah, but like we were saying,
I know that Letitia has experience with her son. She has one son, and he's also a musician too.
I have four sons.
Oh well, I know he's an accomplished musician. And he travels quite a bit.
Right. And he gets pulled over like almost every time he leaves the house. They for driving suspiciously, but he does have dark, tinted windows and stuff like that. So I was telling him when he gets a chance to try to lighten his windows or whatever. But one thing he does, every time he gets pulled over, he pulls down all his windows, because they can't see in the back. So he makes sure all his windows are pulled down, no matter what. And then he calls his father, which isn't always a good thing. Like, and he calls his father, and his father be like, "Why they pull you over?" Yeah, and he was like, "Okay, Dad, it's okay. The cop is over here." He was like, "Y'all just harassing my son. Like, why they keep pulling you over?" And but it's the truth, though,
I mean, because that's a warranted reaction,
Yeah.
And the same thing continues to happen, and then the character, of your loved ones, you know what I mean? So that kind of reaction is warranted. I mean, even though it's hard to, which was like sometimes you just, that's just where you go. Like I know where when I'm pulled over and I'm like, okay, I'm in a situation where I just need somebody to know what's going on. I automatically call my wife,
Right.
Yeah.
and I call her on the phone while the phone is still on the stand on the dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
Once I call her, I hit the power button on the side so that the phone is dark when the police walks up.
Mm-hmm.
But the speaker is already on. She hears everything. She's muted from the other side, so that they don't hear anything that's going on, but she can hear everything that's going on my end. And just to know that, I'm going to be able to pull off safely from there.
Yeah. So we're talking about safeguarding. So another thing, Dominique is always very calm. He's very polite, he's never gotten a ticket. Even the other day, he was speeding. He told the cops he was, trying to hurry up and get to Walmart before they close. And they were like, okay, well, just slow down. I'm just going to give you a warning. So it is sometimes your disposition and your demeanor, how you respond to them. Because anything, if you even ask them why you pulled me over, they feel like, why are you questioning me? You're questioning my authority and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, it's just important for us. It's sad to say, but we have to do it. We have to do that to come home alive to our families.
Absolutely.
So I had a situation where I saw somebody being harassed. I knew who they were.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in my car and I saw that, the police was following them or whatever when they were, getting to their destination. So when I saw it, I know the guy wasn't doing anything. It was one of Ronald, a friend of Ronald, my son. And I know he wasn't doing anything. So I stayed in my car. I didn't leave. I stayed in my car and I rolled the window down a little bit so that I could hear what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the officer was just harassing him,
Wow.
And so after the officer, thankfully the officer left, but he put him out the car and he was searching him, made him put his hands on the car and all that. But I stayed in the car the whole time so that there will be a witness.
Okay.
And so after the officer left, the young man came to me and thanked me for being there. And he said that, he was like, Miss Farmer, if you wouldn't have been there, I don't know what would have happened. Thank you so much for being there.
Right.
So I have a question to the group. How do you feel about, if you do see something that you just stay around? I know people pull their phones and stuff out, whatever. I don't know about all of that. I wasn't doing that, but just staying there, as a witness. I was real calm. I wasn't saying anything. I just, cracked the window and I just sat in the car, so the officer would know, I'm watching you. Somebody is here.
Right.
So how do you guys feel about, doing that?
Yeah.
But can I interject and say something about the officers? I believe the negative officers may be in the minority, because the officers I believe there are many, many, many really good officers. But it's just like the few negative ones make the news, the few, but you'd have like hundreds of officers, but they're not doing that, because many of the officers are very nice, respectful,
not a lot
helpful,
of them.
because I have met them. They help me with my.
But you haven't met all of them. This is Maryland. This is Baltimore,
I think
Maryland.
3 officers.
It's a
but
lot
now,
of.
now I have had negative
He knows
ones. The officers
4. He knows
threatened to
4.
give me a ticket if I didn't
Out of the
move my
whole
car.
world. There's 4 of them. And that's a
No,
lot.
no, because I've been to church with a lot of them were officers that were saved, women and men. A whole lot, because the captain was the police.
I know you're trying to take up for them. That's
no,
fine.
no. And
But
we
we're
have
just-
relatives. I'm telling you, just like the world says, black men, all the black young men are bad, and you grab your pocketbook and hold it under your arm if you see one coming. I know hundreds of young black men. They are mannerly, saved. I've gone to camp with 400 or 500, 600
But
young people.
what? I understand what you're saying when you're saying they are good officers.
Yeah.
So why aren't they standing up though? Maybe
That's true. That's very
out
true.
and really stood up. They like, if they're so good, then why don't they talk about what's going on and everything like that? There should be open dialogue from them. I've seen like, I don't know, like one video probably of a whole bunch of officers, but there are like thousand officers in the United States. Like, why won't they come together and weed out the bad ones then?
No, one thing you hear. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tim.
No, absolutely. I agree. I definitely agree with that. But one thing also, I want us to answer that question, because that was a good question on ML.
I wanted to answer that.
Where how do we feel, to just stand around as an innocent bystander, just to let them know that somebody's there. So I didn't want us to forget that. But go ahead, Antoine.
No, I was going to say one thing is that the police, they consider themselves brothers. So if you like, they call it snitch on somebody, or if somebody did something wrong and you snitch and you their partner, oh man, you're gonna be blackballed, in the police department. So something has got to be done so people can speak up, and speak out against, all of this police brutality that's going on, So it's really okay. Go ahead.
Like years ago, they did have this discussion in school, like maybe 30 years ago, and they had like officer. You remember officer friendly?
Times have changed. This is not 30 years ago.
Yeah, but I say some of that need to come back, like, because
they need to bring it back.
One of my sons was just afraid of the uniform and the gun, and he automatically started running. Right. As a little boy. And see,
and then he started running as a man, as a grown man. He's
afraid. But as a little boy. But see, this is where parents come in. We know we like Timothy, they already schooled, good mannerism, attitudes mean a lot. And be friendly, speak, and don't just tell your kids, they are bad, but popos or whatever they call them. They're bad popos. You don't tell them that. They say they out there to protect.
That's what we.
What you say, Tim?
Especially the dirty ones. We call the dirty ones pigs. We call it out.
Woo! Yeah.
Uh,
Can I just speak to what Mel was asking earlier about how do we feel about staying around, Sometimes we stand around, we witnessed, the police doing this one guy, wrong, beating him with the bully club and everything.
Wow.
And the guy did absolutely nothing wrong. I believe he was riding his bike and some lady said something to the police officers about the young man that was riding his bike, and the police, beat him up, threw him in the paddy wagon, and at that time, it's not as safe as it is now to testify, on somebody's behalf. But, at that time, there was people that were there. They went and testified on the young man's behalf.
Are you talking about me, Tawanda?
Maybe, maybe.
Me and Sister Miller. We were coming to the youth session. And
Really?
she had 5 kids and I had about 12. And when the guy was on his bicycle and he turned around in the middle of the street and went in the opposite direction, well, the police pulled him up and called a paddy wagon and cursed him out. And what the young man was doing, his wife gave him a list, and he must have forgot the list to go back home to get it, to go to the store. And when they pulled him up, he looked at Janice and looked at me and said, "Do you see what's going on?"
Mhm.
We say, "Yes." Well, then somehow they let him out. And that Saturday, we was back downtown, and he asked if we would go to court and appear on his behalf. And we say, yes, we would. And we went down to the courthouse. Janice and I did. We drove down there, and so we had names. And so we did go, and we told the officer
You can't say names.
and they actually
Don't
let
tell
him off.
names.
But because he had a little something on his record, but they still didn't charge him, and he thanked us. But the officer was very upset, very upset. But we did do that because we thought that was the right thing to do.
Well, it was. And I think if we're more like a community, like to answer Mel's question, we want to answer, we want to go around and answer this question. Yeah. And I don't know, like, I guess if it was somebody I knew, like you knew the guy, I don't know if I would just stop my car if I see the police interacting with someone, only because of danger out here. You know what I mean? I was kind of afraid, just to be truthful and genuine and transparent. I would be afraid to do it. I'll drive by and keep on praying for him. Lord, in the name of Jesus, God, don't let that police, blah, blah, blah. But me, myself, stopping my car, making sure everything's okay, I don't think I would do that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if you're in a car with someone that wants to stop, you feel fearful. You do fear for your life because you never know what's going to happen, what's going to go down, know. So you do feel fearful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then Timothy, you drive a lot. You have to be careful who you put in your car. Man, give me a ride. You have to be careful.
Grandma, you got the wrong one. I don't do that.
I'm so glad. But you don't know what they're taking. I'm glad.
That's so true. Yeah.
No, I don't do that. Yes, but I ain't got to worry about that. But I want to piggyback too. I agree with it. I agree with being an innocent bystander. But at a point, you have to. It's almost like, me personally, I don't think I will pull up, at a scene that's already taken place before I got there. Mm-hmm. But if it's something that I seen happen, from the start of it, and it already looks suspicious, then I'm there. Like that's what I question. Okay. I'll even text and call sweetie, there's something going on that's unfair. I feel like I just need to be here. She'd be like, well, do what you gotta do, be safe. You know what I mean? And I find myself in a lot of those situations, when it comes to, certain stuff like that. But I know of a situation that happened in Atlanta. This was crazy. They unjustifiably pulled a car over and all that because of how it looked in a different neighborhood and everything like that. And lo and behold, before everything could go down, this person called 2 or 3 cars, and they got out like 12 deep, right? And they just stood there. Like, we're gonna let you do your job. We ain't interfering in nothing. Mm-hmm. But this person making it home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because already it was physical. They was grabbing this person's neck and everything like that, and choking them, everything. Person asking why, like, like, so while all this physical stuff going on, you're asking the police, why are you doing this? And all they do is get more physical.
They get
Yeah.
You know, and then they feel like, hey, you need to step back. You need to let me do my job. Well, you ain't doing it correctly. So I'm sitting right here. I want you to know this person is going to make it home. You know, and I want you to know I'm looking at you. So that was the situation I seen, and I would agree, you know, with you know, sitting, you know, on the side and watching everything. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's happening more and more now. You know, people are videoing, and people are being innocent bystanders, and they're videoing. You know, and that's how the tapes get out. You know, about
I think that's the only reason why we see it, because it's been happening for years.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because there's no way in the world now we got cell phones and now it's just started. This is something that's been going on for years and years and years. And
there's another thing, Timothy, you should get one of those recorders or something.
Oh, like the dash cam.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
But I heard the dash cam turns around. Does it? You can face forward and turn. Can it?
I'm not sure of all the features, but I know, you know, different ones do different things. So
okay. So we should probably get the one that turns, Tim.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
But it won't get the back seat, will it? Maybe you need 2, I'm thinking, or 3.
Or maybe 5. 2 in the
one
back,
one in the trunk, one in the back seat.
Right.
One by the wheel.
Yeah, I mean that's
tires.
They pull me over and go through the back seat and do some stuff they're supposed to do.
Right, put one in the trunk.
Yeah, at least 3.
Yeah,
and 4, but you put one on your body.
The exhaust system, so you can see what they're doing behind you.
You need another one on your body.
Y'all ain't messing with me. I got 20 cams on my car.
Right, put one in the tailpipe.
Hold on. I see. Don't do that. No, but I hate. No, I was going to get one. I know we talked about it. I was going to get one, but I had not got a chance to go online and purchase one. So I definitely need to do that sometime this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's not against the law or anything, right?
Right.
Okay.
No, yeah, it's not against the law.
No.
And we have to know the law too.
I was
That's
going to
so
say
true.
The crazy thing about like any footage you can have, any any voice recordings or anything like that.
Yeah.
The issue that still stands is this: that officer or whoever is in that situation, they have to know that they're being recorded.
Yeah.
Or if not, they're going to excuse everything.
Right. It's inadmissible.
And that's the scariest thing to admit. You know, look, I want you to know. You know, are you praying?
But they already know, because this is how everybody look. They know they being recorded. Right?
You could be doing a selfie. You don't know.
They don't use most people's cell phone footage because you didn't tell the officer, you know, you're being recorded right now. And I just want you to know that. But like I said, like to say that in a situation, you know, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night, you know, to admit that to an officer, you know, like you said, that everything, you know, strokes their ego. So who knows how it's going to really go? So it's like at the end of the day, will I be able to use this stuff? You know, or is it just for you know, my family, my loved ones to know what exactly went down?
Yeah.
You know, if I never make it out of the situation, run a footage or something, you know, something like that. Worst case scenario,
since,
you know,
since that will be inadmissible, do you think that, you know, when you have like Shalice on the call or you call somebody, that if you know, bad, you know, this is just a really bad case scenario.
I know.
But if you do, you know, or somebody happened to go to court for it, will that be inadmissible as saying, well, I had somebody on the other line without informing the police officer that I have somebody on the other line,
right?
You know, and they hear the conversation, they hear what's going on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I feel like it'd be in the same, you know, same scenario.
It'd
be in the same boat because it's the same difference. Basically, it's about the consent. It's about their consent. Like you know, you didn't have my permission to do so. You know, that's why even when they come to your window, they even if you know they have the body cam, they say, I just want you to know, you know, my body cam is on and you're being recorded. You know, so they let you know that. But the reason I do it is so that, yeah, like you said, worst case scenario, if God forbid, you know, if something happens beyond my control, you know, and beyond my health, beyond my safety and all that, at least somebody will know.
Right. Right.
Well, lady is on here. Hey, lady. Lady said Tia has 6 kids and cameras in every room and on outside of their room.
I know that's right.
Yeah, but it is like you were saying, Tim, when they're behind you, it's like even if you know stuff is okay with your car, it's like it makes you just panic. Like even as a female, like they ride behind me and they know, they looking up your tags and stuff, you know.
Wow.
And it's like that's why I'm like you. I be turning, you know. I just turn my car and get out of their way and stuff. You know, they don't normally keep following me. You know, I just get out of the way because one time they came behind me and I was driving somebody's car and it was years ago and the insurance lapsed, you know. And so I was at a light. I'm at the red light. So as soon as the light changed, he came behind me with his lights on and stuff, pulled me over. And I'm like, well, what did I do, officer? Because I'm not speeding, I'm at the light. He was like, do you know that the insurance, you don't have insurance on this car? I was like, well, this is my friend's car and blah, blah, blah. But he let me go. But I'm just saying, like, it's just, it's an intimidation.
No reason to run
they
your
just want to
tag.
intimidate you because they can. And that's the worst law out here, that they can just ride up on the back of you and run your tags for no reason at all.
No reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, they were saying in one country, the police actually ride the buses to look into people's cars to see activity and stuff. And then they reported to the other police officers. That is insane.
Like what, an MTA bus or something?
The regular
out of the country, she said. Out of the country.
And they actually do that.
We are in high pursuit. We need this cheese bus.
I know they stopped Letitia. She was out of the state, I think, and my son was asleep. Remember, he was sleeping or something, and they gave him a ticket. He was in the back seat sleep because he was tired. I think they gave him a ticket in the back. Was that a seatbelt on?
You know whose son that was?
My son.
Your son. And you know why they pulled me over?
Why?
Because they had somebody pulled over on the side of the road. And you can't drive in that lane. And I was trying to get over, and these big trucks were going and everything. And I was driving so slowly trying to get over. And he's still going to come after me and pull me up after he finished getting my
I was with you.
Crazy.
I remember that.
Wow.
And it was like, he was, so I told him, I was like, I was trying to get over. He was like, well, you should have gotten over, you know, faster or whatever. So he didn't give me a ticket. But he was like, he doesn't have his seatbelt on. He's asleep, officer.
In the back seat of the car.
He was like, boy, he doesn't have his, I'm gonna fine him $25 for not having a seatbelt.
Yeah, I would tell you what time I couldn't get over, you know, same scenario, right? And I was on the highway. I think I was doing like 65 or something like that. And there was a police had somebody pulled over, but he had one of them top hats on, right? And I couldn't get over, right? And I guess because of the speed of the truck, that thing knocked his hat into the highway, right? I said, I know he ain't gonna get me. I know he was. The only thing that saved me, I guess, was the fact that he just pulled that car over and he hadn't even got the information yet.
Oh man!
But you drove over his hat, Timothy?
No. I seen it in the rearview mirror after I passed him.
It just flew off.
The whiff of my speed knocked his hat clear into the highway.
Lady said they do their hair salon, and she said they ride in the Lyft and the Uber. Are you the police?
What?
The police officers ride in the Lyft and Uber? I know they ride around in Camrys.
That's just to harass.
They got pickup trucks too.
Yeah, they got minivans.
Oh
yeah. If y'all see minivans.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Can I call a bunch of nothings?
But you know what, Trisha? The Lord said to pray
Trisha.
for them.
Who is Trisha?
Because they are our ministers, Letitia.
I don't think they're our ministers anymore. I think they used to be our ministers. Now they on the other side.
Pray
Wait,
for
who's a minister?
those governors. They officials are our ministers, and they are there to protect. And that's
They
the
are
scripture.
supposed.
So that's why we pray for them every
They are
day.
supposed to.
You
I
pray
pray
for
for
them.
them. I say, Lord Jesus, don't you, Lord, stop them from pulling over people who are innocent, God, and
Yeah.
Right.
innocent people. I'm gonna pray for them.
Now
Save
you
them.
Pray that they don't get ran
And
over.
pray,
all the
Lord
police
Jesus,
brutality.
Pray,
Lord,
no,
that they
you
will
pray
get
that they be
over the
protected.
police force.
Yeah.
Pray
and
that
pray they
be-
stop putting on their sirens for no reason to get on the red light.
Oh, but I actually did hit one on the highway
You
because he,
Oh,
he didn't
yeah.
have his light on. He was
Oh,
sitting, it was
no.
dark, and I hit him. And then when I turned to look,
Now
I
it's
said,
your
"You didn't have your lights on at first, sir," and I didn't see your car. I'm sorry, but you did not have your light on, so I didn't. It was dark, and I didn't. You didn't turn it on until after I hit you.
And
And
you
I
know
did
I'm
why
old, officer.
And I
I can't
explained to him
hardly
the
see.
reason why I didn't hit you point blank. I just hit you on the side.
Just swipe you a little
Because
bit.
when I came up on you, and had I hit you point blank, it would really been bad, sir. You know. But God bless.
But
he
see,
helped
they
me,
so arrogant.
uh,
I'm surprised he ain't tried to knock you out or something, you know?
You
That's
know,
what I'm saying.
somebody
Did you
said
invite
you're
him to
not
church,
supposed to incriminate
Mom?
No, what I did, I wrote a
virtually.
long scenario so that he could take it to the judge. I wrote a long paper on the car and wrote a long explanation, and they dismissed it. And the ticket was over $300. I ended up paying nothing.
Okay.
And
Wow.
they gave
had
me
12 kids and you had PCVAF.
Yeah. She's
no,
son-
actually, Daddy had
Right.
just passed away.
Yourself on
Daddy
virtual
just
land.
passed, and I was on my way to North Carolina to another funeral.
Get away from here.
Just told me
Yeah,
you on
but
your way
God
to the
bless.
funeral. You always
Yeah,
going
that
to
North
funeral.
Carolina get you.
Yes. I'm
Just
gonna use that.
explain things, you know. We
Yeah.
just talk and explain. Say
I'm
I'm
gonna use
sorry.
that.
And you know what? When that cop
That's
stopped
good,
me in
Mama.
Michigan, it was raining and I couldn't see. And I'm always trying to take shortcuts and all that kind of stuff. Every time I go to a town, I need to feel my way. So it was pouring down raining and it was dark and I was leaving my job in Detroit and I couldn't even see. So I was like slowly driving past the light. It was like turning red, it was like yellow, but I was slowly driving past it so I could see the sign, right?
Mhm.
And two brothers pull me
Two brothers.
Yes, pull me over. And you know what I was thinking when I said I couldn't see, I don't know where I'm going, all that kind of stuff. They still gave me a ticket. And as I was pulling off, y'all, listen to this. Sharice said, "So glad I caught you. I love your voice, my friend." Hey, Sharice. Lady said we have to be honest, it's not all police. Yeah, that's what Mom said at the beginning, it's not all police. So I was thinking, y'all, I should have cried and be like, oh,
You should have.
because I was thinking I should have just started crying because I
You
know
should
how to
have.
cry. I am an
They
actress.
will let you
you know.
go. They will
Mm.
let you
And
go.
I believe that, all women are actresses.
They will let you go. Because I know a lady who did that. She cried. Please, I've been having a hard time with my children today. And they let her go. I tell you, it works.
It
But
works.
they didn't let automatic go. And she showed up at the courthouse for a
I know
traffic
You know she ain't cry.
with two lawyers for a traffic ticket with two lawyers.
She probably fussed him out.
Yes.
Oh, demon. Yo, old demon.
You old dirty dog.
But they let her go. And then she had me as an eyewitness plus
What
two
happened?
lawyers. What? Because she went through the light. I told her to go through the light because it was broken. It was just blinking. And as soon as she went through, it stopped blinking. And the police was on the side waiting. And as soon as she went through that light, he turned on the siren and came and gave her a ticket. And so she showed up at the court, picked me up from my job with the lawyer, and the lawyer brought his father, who was a lawyer. And it said she's a church chauffeur, and the judge said, "It's nothing on her record. Her record is clear." And that police officer was kind of sweating because he didn't think all that was going to show up in the courtroom. So they say, "Case dismissed. There's nothing on her record." Yeah.
Baby said it doesn't always work when you cry.
It doesn't. I know two people it worked for, lady. Two
I think it
people.
would work for me though.
think it works
I know
too
two people
late.
it worked for.
And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm
Right, that's what I was gonna say. If you at least look cute or something and crying, you can't be all toe up and I'm saying got pajamas on and crying. They don't have symptoms for that.
man.
If you got your hair
I-
done,
look,
your nails done and stuff, then you
Cherise
crying, you
said,
might have more sympathy.
Cherise said, I never get a ticket. I totally believe God on this. No lie. I always get out of it with love. It's phenomenal. Maybe I got like one and they made it minimum for me. Truth. No tears though. LOL.
That's
No,
right. I never paid a fine either, but God did it. It's God.
Yeah,
God
I know.
That's what
paid
she
your fine.
said.
Yeah,
Yes, man.
yeah.
I got
You
one
said
ticket.
God paid your fine. She said she never got a fine. God did. I
Cherise
never paid
said
a
she
fine.
starts
God did.
praying. She said as soon as the police get behind her, she starts praying. I do
know
too.
that's
I
right.
mean, I told y'all. I
Yeah.
start praying when I'm speeding and I see a police. I was like,
You're
oh.
not supposed to be speeding, Letitia.
But you know what? And the Lord, I think you know what? At first I was like, the police stops his
Grace.
pen, but
Grace
I think
and
my
mercy.
car is invisible to them, like they don't.
Mine too.
see me. Y'all have Wonder Woman cars. Invisible.
Woo.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, is that
I know
visible
one
too?
time
Mine
I
invisible.
was flying on the highway, boy, and I just knew he was coming for me. I seen him come out that unauthorized little parking lot. Seen them lights come on. I said, "Oh no!" Only thing that saved me though, there was another car with the same make and model, same color and everything. And I jumped like 2-3 lanes, and they pulled the wrong car over. I started praying that, "Thank you, Jesus."
Oh, Timothy.
My lady said the nurse called her about her mom, and she had to call the ambulance, so she got pulled over and got 4 tickets.
No way.
She said she couldn't stop crying.
4 tickets.
I
Wow.
must stop
For
crying.
what?
Because what, she was following the ambulance?
Following the ambulance, yep. Were you following the
No
ambulance, lady?
way.
Oh my goodness.
Well, she could go to court for that, couldn't she?
Mom, you told us to take every ticket to court. You said every time you get
For
a ticket,
real?
take it to court. She
Yeah,
sure
that's
did.
what
You
he
remember
said. He
telling
said,
us
"Take
that?
all your burdens, all you can." And what he said? He said,
And
he said,
leave 'em there.
Right though? Leave them there.
As the saying goes, won't he do it? It's like,
Hey,
no.
how about Shana? Yes.
Sing it, Timothy. Won't he do it?
So I
know
like
that's
Sharice was saying praying when the police first come behind her. Just
Yeah.
start calling on Jesus.
That's
But
right.
any other safeguarding tips? Tawanda, you said you were looking up some stuff.
I was, and well, sometimes this stuff doesn't work, because if the police gonna be, mean and rude and evil, they just gonna be mean and rude and evil. They don't care. It
True.
just says be respectful and polite, and keep your mouth shut. Even if you're right, don't resist. Never, ever, ever resist.
And how about this, Wanda? How about this? Be humble. And how about one of y'all say at the end of the month, sometimes you're more susceptible to get tickets at the end of the month.
Yeah, they gotta meet their quota. Yes, they do.
And that's why we were talking about warning people,
Yes,
of traffic.
help them out.
Right.
Yeah.
Traps.
Yeah.
Traffic traps. Blinking your lights.
Yeah.
Mommy didn't
Yeah.
listen.
So
I thought that was wrong.
It's not wrong, Mom. It's not against the law.
So another thing says stay calm and remain in control.
Yeah.
Watch your words, watch your body language, and watch your emotions.
And
It's just hard,
always
It's
thank
very
you
hard
for you
to
act.
do.
Thank you
And
for you
keep your hands
I
in
remember-
plain sight.
on the
Yeah, there
steering
you go,
wheel,
On the
right?
steering wheel.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
we got pulled over one time and we were not in Maryland. And the police pulled us over and he intimidated us. He put his head in the window and looked around and said, "Oh, all of these ladies in here." I'm like,
Wow.
wow. And then he told the driver to get out. And I was like, oh, well, I said, we don't get out in Maryland. I said, we don't get out in Maryland. He said, well, you're not in Maryland. And so the driver got out and I got out too.
She sure did.
For my little bitty
Wow.
self, right? I was like, yeah, because we weren't in Maryland. No telling, we were in, can I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
We were in Mississippi.
Yeah.
Come on,
Oh,
man.
Oh,
no, see, you
No
can forget it.
telling. What?
You
You
were
already know
driving
what
my
time it
car,
is.
right?
Mississippi. And where?
I think we're going to the girls. Y'all were driving my car, I believe, and I was
Okay,
with
okay.
Daddy, and y'all
That
passed
was
us.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And you know what? And the crazy thing about it, Tawanda, just to piggyback on the rest of that story, is when he took me to the back of the car, then he explained that I took you out the car so he wouldn't get hit. Because he was saying it's dangerous for him. So that's why he said
Okay.
in the back of the car.
I was like,
And then he wrote the directions to the hotel on the back
yeah,
of
because
the
we were gonna
ticket.
be lost. That's
Because
true.
I was driving and I was lost. Right. And that's why
We didn't know we were lost.
that's
though,
the whole
right?
story that's saying like, mommy doesn't like when I say this, but it's the truth. And I was like, the Lord allowed me to speed so I can get pulled over because
So he can
I
give you
passed-
directions.
so he can give me directions.
We would have been
Because
lost.
I passed because I was looking for 30 West and he was like, there is no 30 West. Mom gave us the wrong directions.
Wait a
We
minute.
were on our way to
That's a
Florida.
shame.
He was like, if you keep driving, you're gonna be on your way to Florida. Was it Florida?
We were in Jackson,
No, we were-
Mississippi.
we
That
were-
was
No,
the
it wasn't
country.
Florida. He said you were gonna be on your way somewhere. Amy
Yeah.
cracking up. Hey, Amy. Amy cracking up laughing. And so I told my mom, was like, oh no, the Lord not gonna let you speed just to give just to help. I was like, but mom, we were on and it was getting dark too.
I believe you,
And
Tish.
it was all
It was
of us
the
in
Lord.
the car. You know, it was the Lord.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was
Jesus.
the
And we had babies. And we had
Hallelujah.
Oh, yes, God. He's so faithful.
Yes.
And you know what that cop did? He said, I saw you speeding all the way miles back.
Yes, he did.
He went
on the
across
other
the
side of the
medium strip,
highway.
right? He was on the other side of the highway. He went across the medium strip and pulled me over. Came all the way up. And when he pulled me over, I
Wow.
wasn't even speeding anymore.
That's right. That's right.
And he was
And
like,
plus
you
you
were
had
speeding
cruise
way
control
back
on.
there. You were speeding all the way back there.
You know
I
what?
said,
That
no,
was
she
probably an
wasn't, because she
angel
had the cruise
police.
control
I
on.
think it was an angel police. No.
I think it was the angel police.
Remember, Tish?
Huh?
I said you weren't speeding because you had the cruise control on.
I sure did. And I told him, I said, I'm not speeding. I had my cruise control. He said, you were
Right.
speeding way back
All the way
there.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
what
so they-
else? Do y'all have any tips online? Hey,
That
Amy
was
is on
good.
here. Oh, lady said you can get a ticket for flashing your lights. Yeah, but they'll throw it out the court because that's not against the law to flash your lights.
Yeah,
And
but
you have to know how to do it. You don't
Yeah.
do it in front of them.
How you
Right.
gonna know you flashing? You don't flash
Wait
it
a minute.
while you see them. You flash after you pass them.
Yeah, I go past them and I let people know it's a speed trap.
Right.
Okay, but wait a minute. If you can get a ticket for it, you don't want to have to go through all of that, just because you know it's not against the law. You gotta be careful.
Yeah.
You gotta know how to do it.
Mel,
Don't listen to Melanie, y'all.
I know how to do it, right?
I do
Mel,
too.
bump.
I'm doing virtual fist bumps.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is a really good conversation. Any other safeguarding tips, Mom?
Well, I'm thinking, Timothy, now you got a son. He'll
Mhm.
soon be driving before you know it.
Oh,
And
Lord.
this is the time, you start teaching them how to, to handle
Yes.
themselves. And young people get really hot tempered sometimes.
Yeah.
They fly off the
Yeah.
handle. This is the
Absolutely.
time you instill those values in them now.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
they don't wait until they get to driving age, because it's hard to, come up and do the right thing, especially when they're young.
And
Do it
nowadays,
now.
teenagers, they get their driver's license, they get their car and all that, and they're not careful, like you said earlier. Who they let in the vehicle, who they hanging with,
Yeah.
That's right.
who they rolling with, what they doing, what they're about, and they find themselves in a situation when they pulled over. don't really know the person. I mean, they might know them because they befriend them, but they don't really know that person's life per se.
Exactly.
You know? And have them caught up in
And
some
they
stuff
both get tried for the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And one thing,
So
you
that's
bring your
definitely one
baby,
thing.
I'm sorry, you bring them up having a prayer life, because you can do all the right things and the police could still do all the wrong things.
And something else, Timothy, when something happened, I notice sometimes you see news and you get a little upset and the kids look right at you. They pick up vibes from the way we react. I watch your expression. When they did this, you start puffing. And your son looks right at you. He's getting his cues from you.
So that's one thing I have to be more mindful of, because not even with, not even just with racist cops or being profiled by cops, but out here, like nowadays, it's white people that drive on the side of you, and just to get a rise out you and do certain things, and that's sometimes I got to know my reaction. Oh man, my son's in the car and all that. And I just got to be more mindful of that, because they'll do things to, get a reaction out of you,
Right,
so it's definitely just more than the cops though that I experienced in the car.
And road rage, and everybody's packing in their cars. They packing.
They packing, Mom. All right now.
Box lunch. Person that said I wouldn't say po-po.
She wouldn't say po-po, but she said they packing. They packing. What they packing, Mom?
A lunch? What is it? A lunch?
Yeah.
Shalice said, you start puffing.
She know.
Puffing. What's puffing?
Yeah. The one thing I always do, which I have to try to stop doing, is what you call it? What is it called?
Reacting or
no. It's entertaining. I entertain that foolishness because it's like I've always had a temper, so I find myself doing small things to get back at them, to have them more irritated at me than what they had me irritated at them.
No, but
but I am working on that.
We pray for you,
Timothy. Did you hear the news last week, Timothy? But they're on the highway, and this little child, 7 years old, in the back seat. And when the bullet came through there, it killed that little child.
Wow.
But see, people, they probably didn't intend to get her. Yeah, but so you think about your family.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't know.
It's like prayers are everything, because Lamont used to follow the cops and we get mad at him. We like follow him to 7-Eleven and stuff, and we like, why you watching me? Why you pull me over? You're just jealous of me because I'm a black man and I got my own car at the age of 18 years old. Like he used to like follow them and lay them out. And I was like, boy, Pastor Bryce was putting up some prayers for you, son.
You need to edit this, Tish, because we can't let everybody hear that. Can we edit that part that you just said? Just say.
We live.
Get ready. We can't cut that out.
Like even Samuel. Now Samuel wasn't hot tempered, but he wouldn't think. Like he accident, he started speeding. And one night he was rushing home because I had Pastor gave him all this money to get food. And then the police stopped him and he was trying to outrun the police in the car. So they pulled him over, and asked him, he said, no, I just went to this blind woman, got this money from her. I got all this money from this blind lady.
He took the cop home. Remember, he brought the cop all the way to the house, Mom. He never stopped. He came all the way home. The cop was at our front door.
Wow.
Yes. He got the money from Pastor White to give to you. And the police was trying to pull him over, and he drove all the way home because he was afraid to stop. This is the same one that chases the remember he used to chase police cars.
Yes. While he's in the house. Yeah.
So we used to jump in the car with him.
For what?
You emergency vehicles? Oh man.
Not me.
Oh, I did.
I know one time police said, pull over and give him a ticket for speeding. He said, no, not now. I go to the bathroom. So he's like, look, let me go. So he followed him to his job. He got up, went to the bathroom, and then he came up.
Cop
Then he
still
got
gave
the
him a
ticket.
ticket.
Oh my goodness. That's
After you use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's right. Okay, I have another
That's your
one.
brother Samuel.
All right, we got 5 minutes. Go ahead, Swan.
Under any circumstance get into an argument with a police officer.
Mm.
But
Under
they try to make you though.
circumstance.
They try to
do.
make you.
And
They
even
try to
though they
push
try
you
to
to
make you, you have to hold
They
your
set
peace.
you up.
You have to hold, let the Lord fight your battle, right, mommy?
Yeah.
Hold your
Or
peace.
Miranda.
Say what?
Miranda will fight your battle, please.
No.
Or another safeguarding thing is when they pull you over, you're like, praise the Lord, put on your Jesus hat.
Yes.
Clothes and stuff. Put in
Yeah.
this conversation. Praise the Lord. How you doing, officer?
God
But
is
see,
so
that
good.
comes natural with your brother. That
Yes,
comes
I'm
natural.
I'm on my way to church. Even if you're not on your way to church, I'm on
Yes.
my way to church.
Yes.
We're ready. We have all night prayer.
Yeah. Someday you know, probably not that day.
Yeah.
Sunday you gonna be on.
We're
your
going to
way
be
to
on
church.
our way to church
Yeah.
eventually.
Eventually.
So I ain't lying.
Oh, you're not.
Tell them the truth. You still representing God.
That's
Tell
why I
them.
say
Yes.
praise the Lord. Yes,
Yeah.
praise the Lord,
Yes.
officer. How you doing? God is good.
Yes.
I know you
Praise
was
the
saying,
Lord. I'm representing God.
I'm representing Jesus.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I just
Yeah.
told him I'm running late because I had to cook for the prayer breakfast early Saturday morning. And I just got a warning. You telling the truth?
Now you was speeding?
Now I ran the stop sign.
You know she wasn't speeding.
You know she can't
I can't speed.
You don't speed.
Cannot. I don't think it's in your
Speed.
blood.
It's not in her foot.
But mom said she
Right.
ran the stop sign like 5 times, right, mom? The same.
But every
stop
time I
sign?
went to it, I ran it because I never saw it.
You're just incriminating yourself. To land. Stop telling people stop signs.
You have the right to remain silent.
But actually, it was like a bush in front of it.
Miranda.
Yesterday, the court of law.
It was
Yes.
a bush in front of the stop sign. I couldn't see it.
Right,
So,
right.
But that one time he
Well, that's what I'm gonna say. There was a bush in front of the stop sign and the traffic light.
There you go.
And
I ain't see it.
And I couldn't see it.
I ain't see that red light. It was a bush in front of the.
No.
stop, Mel.
Well, we hope y'all enjoyed this
Finger.
conversation. This is very serious.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I have one more.
Okay, go ahead, Tawanda. Hurry up. And then close out.
Do
Yeah, same
not
here. I got one more
run.
too.
Even if you are afraid of the police officer, do not run. Just
That's
stand there. Yeah. And a lot of times when you run away, right in your back, So we're not gonna run. Okay.
I have one more
Okay, that's all I
closing too.
have.
What you got, Tim?
Oh, come on, Tim.
I just want to say the best way you can safeguard yourself in any situation with the police is do what you must to make it home.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it home. That's right,
And
Tim.
on that note,
It's right.
thank you so much for tuning in to Chillin
Yeah.
with the Girls and our special guest, our nephew, Tim Sabb. Mom was trying to get him to put a plug in because he's a singer and artist and a writer. She was like, so Tim, where were you going when they stopped you?
Right. What rehearsal were you going to? Was it a book club?
You was going to the concert?
See. Was it your concert?
Mommy, oh so well. I know mommy, oh so well.
What famous artist were you singing with?
Right.
So
And
he
for
said this was
Timothy,
great family.
Timothy, he
Love you.
personifies a lot of our young men. They work hard. He's a driver. He drives a truck.
Go
He
ahead,
does
Tim.
like 2-3 jobs. He sings on Sundays. He takes care of his family. He provides for them. And it's a shame that we don't portray our decent young men. Let the world know. All of them are not on drugs. They're not drinking booze. They're faithful to their wives. They are upright people. We need to portray who our young men are out here.
Amen.
Yeah.
They are not thugs. We are proud of them.
Oh my, you said thugs and
what was the other
the
word?
other
A
thing?
lunch bag.
They packing thugs and I'm like, Mom, what's up? Like these are last days.
I got this from the 6 o'clock prayer line. They say some of those words while they pray.
Write them
Okay,
down.
thank you so much for tuning in for Chilling with the Girls. We will see y'all next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Have a good
God
night,
bless.
everybody.
Love y'all.